All right, we've got the Cleveland Cavaliers up on ESPN.com. Their offseason article is up. Probably a lot of us thought a little bit premature based on 35 and 23 at one point in the season. The big thing was what seed were they going to finish as far as the top six seed. They fall to the play-in, losing Brooklyn, and then certainly have a disappointing loss to Atlanta team that, let's face it, they had the best player on the court in Trae Young. They had the most experienced player on the court in Trae Young, and you are facing an elimination game, and you just got a full dose of Trae Young in the third and fourth quarter. I thought Cleveland's offense was skittish. A lot of, 3 seconds left on the shot clock, but we're not going to go into a full diatribe about what happened in the Atlanta game. We're going to talk about their offseason. And the offseason starts now in Cleveland. You retain your first-round pick, the pick that was traded to Indiana in the Karis LeVert trade, which was top 14 protected. Now you keep that. It's going to be a top 14 protected to Indiana in 2023, and then it will turn into a future second. So you have your own. You have your own first-round pick. We all thought that was going to be in the hands of the Pacers. And now you have a lottery pick heading into the June draft. All in all, I know losing 2 play-in games and where they were in March, right around the All-Star break, is disappointing. It is a tough pill to swallow. Certainly the injury to Jared Allen. We know where their defense went when Allen was off the court. You had injuries to Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Lauri Markkanen. The list goes on, but at the end of the day, you had a home game with your full complementary pieces here, and you got to figure out how to get it done. And if anything, it's going to be a learning experience for this Cleveland team. Now, the hard part is continuing this success, and then what team in that top 6 is going to fall out that you can now leapfrog. We always ask when teams overachieve, what is next? Now the question is going to be, what is next with this Cleveland team? 3 players in the top 25 under the age of 25 with Garland, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. There is as good of a strong foundation in place, but as I said, what is next here? And it's going to have to be the continual development. I think big picture approach, you would have loved to have seen this team in a 7-game series against Miami. But this will bother this group here as far as what just happened. Off-season, the focus is going to be on Garland. Rookie extension eligible, can sign up for 25% of the salary cap in 2023-24. In the article, I said basically what's going to happen is that it's just going to be negotiating probably whether they add all NBA language and if there's a player option in the 5th year. I think he is a max. I think he's a max contract player. I really do. I think he's that good. $181 million extension. I think him and John Morant will be the 2 players off the board when free agency starts. One of 2 players. Trae Young's the other, who averaged 25 and 10 after March 1st. I mean, he's a bona fide stud, and he's only going to get better here. So I think that's what you're looking at from the perspective of Garland. I think he's going to get that rookie max extension. I think he certainly deserves it, and I think he's only going to get better. And as I said, I think the only thing that's really going to be negotiated is if there's a player option in the last year and if there's all NBA language, which I think there will be all NBA language there. So you have, and from a financial standpoint, you're going to have the Kevin Love contract, Karis LeVert contract expire. So it's not like it's an extra financial burden here. You'd have Garland, Mobley, Allen, Markkanen, all those guys, all your core guys locked up. The second thing is that you have to figure out is what's going to happen with Collin Sexton. Right? We thought that was kind of the backcourt of the future as far as with Garland, Sexton. We know Sexton gets hurt early in the year, misses, I think he only played 7 games, misses the whole year with that knee. Is there a comfort level, restricted free agent, they will tender him a qualifying offer. I think that's pretty much a guarantee. And now it's just a matter of qualifying offer is $8.6 million. They have to do by June 29th. Now it's all a matter of like, is there a comfort level paying $17-18 million to keep those two players together? Is there enough body of work that it works, these two players, and we have it all written down? In 173 minutes this year, minus 6.3 in net efficiency. It's a small backcourt, outscored 8.1 points per 100 possessions when both were on the court. So that's something that they are going to have to take into account. Is there maybe a sign-and trade out there for Sexton? Do you bring him back and then maybe you move him down the road? And I think what you're going to have to be careful with is kind of where your finances are. And I wrote about this. You're about 20. There's a $21 million buffer with when you add in your draft pick, your core guys coming back, as far as between your guaranteed salaries and the luxury tax, which is going to be at $149 million. So what you have there is that, there's your line, draw a line in the sand as far as regarding Sexton. And that's basically, you sign him to a $20 million contract, you're done for the offseason. Like this is kind of who you are and what your roster is, unless you, of course, make a trade. And that's going to be the big the question for me as far as what happens with Collin Sexton. I think there'll be somewhat of a market out there, but it's a guy coming off a knee injury who missed the whole year. And as I said in here, the Cleveland doctors and the training staff knows best as far as what's under the hood, as far as what that knee is. And that's going to be, the Garland situation will get taken care of itself, but I could see Sexton potentially dragging out here. And I do think they'll tender him that qualifying offer. He'll be a restricted free agent. Will he get an offer sheet from a team like Indiana or Detroit or Orlando, San Antonio? Those are your teams that will have room, and it's hard for me, for a guy coming off a knee injury, it's hard for me to go out and put an offer sheet down on a player here. And now it's all a matter of if there's something to be worked out with Cleveland. You have your mid-level exception, which is $10.3 million. What happens with Sexton determines how you use it, right? That's the whole thing. You have your lottery pick, you've got 2 seconds, you've got Sexton, your own free agent, you've got the expiring contracts of LeVert and Kevin Love, the biannual, you've got cash. So there are resources there, but as I said when we started this, the free agency of Sexton dictates as far as what you are going to be able to use as far as with other moves. So all in all, big picture, it was a good year in Cleveland. Certainly not how people. I don't think any of us expected this around the All-Star break when this was one of the great stories of the year. But there is a great young foundation, and you just got to take the last 2 games and the last couple weeks, and it's all about learning and getting better.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.